Hello YouTubers, this is Blue Fire Witch, and I wanted to make a response to Nefertali 1981 for his Wicca is Satanic Part 2 video. I am not Wiccan, but I took great offense to a lot of the leaps and mental gymnastics he makes in his video to try to make his point. I will go through the points that he made in his video and thoroughly debunk them. Basically, he's making a lot of judgments to try to equate Wicca with Satanism, but it's really disingenuous, and I'll show you why. You mentioned that a lot of Wiccans try to disassociate themselves with Satanism, and that may be true because Christians have done a great job, you included, of trying to equate the two religions as the same thing, worshipping the same deity. So therefore, a lot of Wiccans are on the defensive, trying to separate themselves from religion that they do not identify with. However, like many religions, Wicca does share similarities with Satanism. They also share similarities with Buddhism, with Christianity, and other religions. However, with that said, you use the usage of the pentacle or pentagram as a way of equating the two religions as worshipping the same gods and using the same practices and things like that. But that's not completely honest. First, because Christianity also uses the pentacle or pentagram. They use it to symbolize the 5 wounds of Jesus Christ. Secondly, you say that both Satanists and Wiccans call upon spirits. Well, I don't know a lot of Wiccans that call on quote-unquote spirits as much as they might call on gods. Of course, some Wiccans would call on fairies and other spirit creatures and things like that. But it's quite different from the energies that a Satanist may invoke, if they even are using magic at all. You see, many Satanists just use the idea of ritual to let out emotions and feelings that they need to get out. It's not necessarily a magical practice. Also, many Satanists don't worship Satan. They just simply use the term Satan as an adversary to organized religion that keeps them oppressed. And like I said, if we're satanic for using the pentacle and pentagram, then so is Christianity. And if we're satanic for calling upon spirits, then so is Christianity, because Christianity also calls on spirits known as angels. And we can take this a step further. If you want to talk about, using symbolism to equate two religions, one of the other symbols used by Satanists is the inverted cross, which is also Christian in origin. So here we see the crucifixion of St. Peter, who was crucified upside down. The inverted cross was used to symbolize that of St. Peter by many Christians and is still used today. So, once again, if we're satanic for using a pentacle, then you're satanic for using the inverted cross. Further, you said that history proves the connection between Wicca and Satanism. But let's look at history, okay? Wicca was founded in 1939 by Gerald Gardner. He adopted the pentagram as the symbol of Wicca because of its ancient pagan usage. Originally, the symbol of the pentagram was a symbol of Aphrodite, also a fertility symbol, a symbol of the elements, and a symbol of geometric equality. However, Anton LaVey didn't start the Satanic Church until 1969, just after Gardner started Wicca. So how can Wicca be blamed for a symbol that was adopted by Satanists after they adopted it? Now, you also claim in your video that we don't know what we're doing when we are calling upon spirits and things like that. But I really don't know what you're basing that on, and I'll tell you why. Like you said, when Wiccans call upon spirits, for example, they usually call upon them for good reasons. For example, to cleanse a house of negative energies, sometimes to do things like exorcisms and healings and things like that. And many Christians have claimed that those spirits that they call upon to do those sorts of things are in fact demonic. However, Jesus said in the Bible that Satan does not divide his own kingdom. In other words, Satan won't cast out a demon. Satan won't heal people when he's trying to hurt them. So the insinuation that the spirits that we're working with are actually demonic and from Satan, when they are doing good works and doing things like exorcisms and healings and things like that, is absolutely ridiculous from your own biblical standpoint. Now, you said that Wicca was kind of like Burger King. They could have it their way because they chose their own deities that fit into the Wiccan kind of construct of deity. But really, that has nothing to do with whether or not it's like Satanism or not. It's basically just your way of making a crack at the validity of the religion. But really, more than like Burger King, Wicca is more like Baskin-Robbins, and it's, 31 flavors. Although there's lots more than 31 flavors. It's all ice cream. In other words, it's all deity, but there's different flavors. There's different aspects to deity. And it's not so much that they're choosing what they want, as much as they're finding out what flavors they like. Just as much as you don't choose whether you like strawberry over chocolate, you don't choose what deity makes most sense to you and what you can relate to. That's about experience. It's about your own life path. So it's not really about having it your way as much as it is finding your way. Now, Christianity can be compared to ice cream, only it's more like Dairy Queen, where there's only one flavor. Sure, you have different toppings and, little candies and stuff that you can put in it. When it gets down to it, it's all vanilla soft serve. You then go on to get onto a really weird tangent. I don't quite understand it. Yes, I'll admit that Wicca has ties to Freemasonry. Gerald Gardner was a Freemason, and a lot of the ritual structure from Wicca comes from Freemasonry. A lot of the language comes from Freemasonry. However, the beliefs are different. So the idea that somehow this guy, which you can barely make out in the video, has to do with some Freemason hip-hop thing, it really has little to no connection to Wicca. And it's ridiculous, really. Further, you show no links on how this guy is legitimate. We're just supposed to believe that what he says is true. Well, there's a lot of Freemasons who will disagree with how he characterizes their practices. I know a lot of Freemasons, at least some Freemasons, and they will disagree with what this guy says vehemently. And some of them know a lot about the occult, and they'll still disagree with what he says. So I don't believe it. Quite honestly, I don't see any truth to it. Then, for some reason, you start talking about Kanye West, who considers himself to be a Christian, by the way. This is just, it has nothing to do with Wicca. Kanye West is a Christian, and there's no proof whatsoever that he's in some weird Freemason group that, calls on Lucifer. I just think that you're reaching horribly. I mean, Wiccans know that they don't believe in Satan. You're not going to convince them that they believe in Satan because of what, some foreign guy, who claims to be part of Freemasonry says. It makes no sense. If you really want to reach Wiccans, stop trying to use this mental gymnastics and half-truths to get through to them. Instead, be honest. Talk about your own religion instead of theirs. I mean, to date, you've made 2 nonsensical videos trying to associate Wicca with being satanic and worshiping Satan. And both of them make little to no sense. And most Wiccans are going to see right through this. I never understood why so many Christians, when they try to reach out to Wiccans, what they'll try to do is demean Wicca instead of bringing up Christianity. If you really think your religion is better, don't try to trash the other guy. Why don't you talk about why they should switch? But I guess that would, endure making an actual logical case for your religion, which is extremely hard to do in the case of Christianity. Instead, you just want to make these big conspiracy leaps and try to scare people, because I guess that's more entertaining. What I'd rather see from you is a video about why a pagan should convert to Christianity. what do they have to gain from that and make a logical case for it? Anyway, this video has been thoroughly debunked. Blessed be.